is do many students ask for consultation regarding the design of their own projects?
Yes, because in IB I am one of 3 CAS supervisors. So CAS supervisors, obviously you must know about what part of the curriculum CAS is. And most of students' CAS projects, which have to be self-initiated and outside school, are service-based projects. This means that not only do they ask us for advice on how to fulfill CAS criteria, but more importantly, because they will be using these projects for their college applications, how to use the framework that CAS can give them, the requirements that CAS can give them, to build the biggest possible project. And that's something that we help a lot of our students with. In fact, as CAS supervisors, all 3 of us, help them even develop the idea of their projects based on their interests. So yes.
So following your answer on that, a lot of people take up these projects in hope of profile building, right? And like you said, meeting CAS criteria.
Yeah.
So all of us really, think, oh, it's for profile building, it's not like done with any real conviction. But then again, all of us are also facing that same pressure of profile building and college applications.
Yeah.
So how do you think people could balance genuine engagement with profile building that is at the end of the day necessary?
No, I think that balancing genuine engagement and profile building is not something that needs to be balanced, because it's not like there are 2 sides of a scale. The thing that ends up happening is that I think with your generation, as like this sort of social media babies or whatever, I think that you're largely, the biggest issue I have with your generation is that trying is like deeply uncool, and caring about stuff is deeply uncool, it has to be nonchalant or whatever. So that's the problem, okay, that you come with anyway as individuals. Then after that, when you have to deal with the pressure of like developing an international application that has a big social project, you have to do that. And so being already cynical and then having to do a big piece of work makes all your engagement with that piece of work completely jaded. You like a large part of you actually change in this regard in grade 11, and which is like a nice heartwarming thing about what I got to see in 11th and 12th. Because despite starting from this more jaded point of view, I find that at least while they're doing the project in grades 11 and 12, they become very fond of what they're doing. Pride in their work develops, and so they do it better than like they thought they could. I think it's happened with her brother very nicely also. He's so pressured to do these things, and then he ended up really liking some of them. I also think that there are those very rare cases which are always nice, where I have a student in my CAS class who just from grade 8 has liked to go to this like underprivileged autistic kids school and play with them, And so when he saw what CAS was, it was like, okay, yeah, I can make this into a CAS project because it's something I've been doing for years anyway, just because I enjoy it. And then, like I said with Samayana's brother Vivan, there's the opposite case also, where you have people that just start it because they have to, because they want to get into Ivy League colleges, and then they end up doing so well that they not only get accolades and achievements and all those things, but like they decide that that's what they want to do with like their lives, like that they want to do that. So I think in grade 11 it becomes much less cynical, much less jaded, but and there's a generational problem that underpins it. So I don't think it's about balance. I think it's about like it's about you guys just like being a little bit more earnest. And that's why I keep shouting about that. Whatever grade I'm teaching, it's my big lecture over there. You can ask Zania and somebody.
So have you seen student projects continue after college admissions often?
Yeah, so a lot of them do, but never. See, you're right on one thing. It's largely not at the same scale. They pass it off to different people that either are not as interested, or people that sometimes work for them in their household. they pass it off to parents to try to semi-run it, and then it eventually peters out. That does happen to the majority of them. I do want to not be so negative about the kids and say that it's because they never cared about what they were doing. I think it's more a logistical issue that happens because of the fact that they're not here physically. But I'm very glad you're doing this project in that sense, because I think what you should figure out ways to help people with is how to make them more sustainable after they have left. What is the way to pass things on to other students? Because I, even as a CAS supervisor, don't have the answer to this. Like, it's really difficult to say that each child has to develop a project of their own for their US applications and for CAS, and then also say that each project should be carried on by students of the next year. It's like a consumer culture issue.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like it at all. It's like it's just capitalism on steroids everywhere all the time. And that's the problem. Like, I think that it's a systemic problem. I don't think that it's an individuals not being motivated problem. It's logistics and it's consumer culture, and it's the turnover is just too fast. If every student is expected every year to come up with a project, why would they continue someone else's project? Like, you're demanding something of them and then you're expecting them to be good people and do this in addition. Like, there isn't time, to do that. And I understand that very pragmatically. So I'm not providing you with any solution, but these are my thoughts.
And so, lastly, which are the student projects that have created real social change that you've seen from our school?
Your name.
If you could, and if you could explain.
But there's so many.
They're like the most significant.
Okay, Nirvan Swarmani had a project called Project Genes that I think is maybe on paper very listed, but it's kind of crazy. Obviously, so Project Genes was about taking genes and recycling them, okay? And the recycling process obviously is hugely important because genes are one of the most water intensive products to make. Denim is one of the most water intensive products to make. And he basically gave blankets and clothing and things for the winter and using that recycling to thousands of people across NCR where it does freeze in the winter for the homeless. Okay, so I think that was amazing. Okay, that project was amazing and it is continuing, which is a good because he comes back every winter for his break, and so he has, at least till now, carried it on, from what I understand. Vivan's project, Samaya can tell you about. I think it's amazing. It's not necessarily a social project, but the fact that it is at such a cheap price and making it accessible to so many people that actually need it at the scale he's managed to kind of pitch it is kind of crazy, and that's why he's won the awards he has. Abir's project is, I don't know if you guys know about it.
The tree one?
Yeah. The Trivide is something that, again, I really like how Abir went about it because, it's something none of you would think of. Why are you mapping the health and growth of trees? The way that sensor can be used, in so many different contexts for so much what is the word? Ecological growth and support and sustenance, I think it's super important because of what the product is. The product is this incredibly diverse thing that again is made at such a cheap price, and biased. So that's really good. I can go on. Do you want me to say more? There's more. I have my names in front of me.
So I think
I think that's perfect. So. Yeah, we
These are
asked.
really cool autistic kids, then you should ask them about it. And whatever. I mean, this is easy.
Okay, that's perfect, sir. Thank you so much. By the way, this is Sayud, sir.